guys, so I wanted to film this for a while. I'm still like not, I'm gonna be like doing this off the cuff here, but I wanted to talk about confidence and how to get that. So some background, I was always the quiet girl in school growing up. Like I did not talk in school. I remember in kindergarten, we would like go around like in a circle time, whatever, and we would like, I think we read aloud or something, but we would like say our ABCs, and I was so shy that like I didn't do it. And so my teacher thought I didn't know the ABCs. So I remember having to, she like made my mom like take me to the library and get out like alphabet books. So like each letter had like a book for it. Oh my God, I remember this because, and I was like, I know my ABCs. It was just, I was so shy and horrified of like speaking in front of people. So I grew up like that. Everyone, like all the way, even through high school. Like through high school, I had, in the beginning of high school, I had like a group of friends, but that totally faded by the end. And I literally was like the loner. Like I never had that like extremely strong, like I never had like the best friend. I did probably at like certain points, but it was never, obviously didn't last. So I don't know if you can really call it that. But I spent so much time at dance as a dancer, the competitive world of dance. So like I didn't have a lot of time outside of school to like hang out with people. But I also had like the resting bitch face, and like I just didn't smile because like why would you do that? I guess I just look sad and shy and whatever, but yeah. So I honestly like grew up that way. So everyone made me feel that way. I remember like, oh, you have to, and even at dance, like I was like getting corrected to be like, oh, you need to have like, smile more, like do all this kind of stuff. And like I always was trying, like when I'm on stage, like I love performing, and I don't know why, like I guess whatever, like I was just so, because I didn't talk a lot, like I'm not gonna talk if I don't have anything to say. I like to observe. However, that does come at a cost, and I think like if you don't speak up for yourself, or there's so many things now, like you always look back and you're like, oh my God, I wish I had said this, that, whatever. So I just want to talk about how now I tell people like I'm confident, and I will go and talk to anyone. And obviously I think a lot of that happened like when I started blogging. It was my way online to kind of express myself, share my interests. However, I was still quiet in everyday life. And then, you know, throughout those college years and right after post-grad, I was still quiet. Like I was not confident because I wasn't out in the world. However, when I moved here to South Florida 2 years ago, it was kind of like so this was my chance to start over, to be completely redefine myself. Like no one knows me, there's no expectations, like no one has preconceived notions about me, like no one knew me. So I could do whatever I wanted. I could be the craziest person in the world and no one would ever think that was weird or whatever. So obviously though, coming down here not knowing anyone, you have to have some sort of confidence about you, because you can't, how are you gonna function? You don't know anyone. You literally have yourself and that's it. So obviously like I had, you know, I still had some coworkers, I was still working at other companies, and so online, you know, I was like talking to them, and I think that helped. When I started working at like, or other contract jobs, working in other roles in other companies, I had to speak up for myself in front of like older men, like, you know, these executive people, and kind of show my worth. And that's why I am such a good job interviewer. Like I can nail that interview. I'm very confident in how I speak and about my experience. Doesn't mean I'm always getting the job, but I can talk, you know, and I can tell, I think I'm very good at reading someone else and their emotion and their voice, and just kind of like, I can tell like within the first few seconds if I'm going to be able to have a good conversation with this person or not. And I've talked about that in having how to nail your interview in that video. I will link it here. So after that, and getting these jobs and stuff, and like working in venture capital and all that, I gained some sort of like baseline confidence where I'm like, all right, obviously people see something in me. Like I can do something, right? I have this great blog. I am working with all these great companies and doing all this cool stuff. I was able to podcast, which, you know, I'm like literally having a conversation with a complete stranger about random topics, because it wasn't like I was necessarily passionate about what I was podcasting. I was just the de facto host of it. And then this whole, buying a house, dealing with so many different people. And now I did stumble there, and I didn't stick up for myself at many moments. I tried, and I felt like kind of I needed someone else. And I think those kind of things, you do need someone else. But for the most part, I got through it somehow by myself, and I did the entire thing, even though it was horrible and a crazy decision. But I learned a lot from that. Then the other thing that I want to make another video about this, and more of like just the like normal stuff that you talk about with this, but dating. I didn't really date until I got down here, so the last 2 years. And dating in South Florida, I can tell you it's not easy. I think everyone is experiencing that right now, like after COVID and just the culture shift of dating and with the apps, and it's a mess. But that allowed me to meet so many different people and have, I'm going to meet a stranger on a first date. A lot of the times I was like, let's have a coffee date because it's an easy way. It's so low key, it's low risk, you're not spending money or anything. It's so simple. And you could really talk and see if this person is good at having conversation. Like I want someone who is a good conversationalist, because I am. But that definitely like boosted my confidence like through the roof, because I'm not scared. Like I go and I'm like, hey, like I can I'm very open now too about so many things. And even this YouTube channel has helped with that, because now I'm like recording myself. Like I remember the first video I edited, and this is only a few months ago, like back in October. And it was so hard to edit because I couldn't even look at myself on like iMovie. I was like, oh my God, this is so cringy. I still feel that way most of the time, but that's kind of helped a little bit more. All these little things kind of came together, and now it's like, hey, I want to be the face of these things. I want to be on camera. I want to be like, I'm so more open on like, I made my personal Instagram account and like showing myself, like I never growing up, like I didn't take pictures of myself either. All those years, and I regret that. I didn't take any photos of myself like in high school and through college and stuff. Like I don't know. And obviously like I suffered from severe depression throughout all those years and stuff, which is a topic we can talk about. But I kind of wish I had, and I think that would have helped. Now I'm just like, yeah, like see me, look at me. And the other thing that I am absolutely loving and I feel has really helped is the orange theory too, which is like, I get the mic and I'm like coaching a class. Like that is crazy. Me, the quiet girl, like coaching an upbeat, crazy, intense, like motivating workout. That's awesome. And I love speaking on the mic. And I grew up like, as a competitive dancer, I grew up on stage, and I love that adrenaline rush, that like performance aspect, and I miss that so much. So I know there was always something in me that kind of liked being the star of the show, having the attention on me. I always said I liked public speaking. Now, like in school and stuff, like I was okay as long as I knew what I was gonna say. Like it wasn't just like randomly like improv or something. It was fine. Like I actually liked that because I liked that adrenaline rush, that crazy feeling, and I don't know, I like that people are listening to me. So I think some of the best ways you can do that, if you're like so shy and you're just like, oh my God, like I'm never gonna be confident, like you're scared to go out on dates, you're scared to do crazy job things, crazy performances. Like I have to do everything by myself down here. I don't know anyone. If I don't do things, if I don't leave the house, if I don't have the motivation to do things, that's it. Like nothing's gonna happen. So I think that you maybe, if you're still living with your parents, or if you have roommates, you should probably be talking to them, I'm assuming. But it's to really get out there and start doing things on yourself. And it's the littlest things. So that's from grocery shopping, right? And I always try to be extremely nice to like the cashiers and stuff. And if they say, hey, like I'm saying, hey, like you have to definitely make yourself open. So don't be closed off. So that's basically what I did like when I was younger. I didn't say anything. Like I was just, people would probably be intimidated to come up to me because they'd be like, wow, like she's like a bitch, or you know, whatever, like they'd be scared to approach me. But now, like I'd say, first of all, make yourself look good. Dress up. I always look nice. Like I love putting it, like I just wear a dress casually. Like this, I have this dress on, like, and it's just a Friday and I'm staying home. Like I like dress up, put some makeup on, straighten your hair just a little bit, not too much, because you know me, I don't like to have a lot of makeup on. Pick a really bright colored lipstick, that helps. Like feel good about yourself. You know you look good. And then go out and do things. So that's either going to events by yourself, grocery shopping, just going to the store, going clothes shopping, like even have a little like fun fashion show for yourself. I love going to stores, just trying on a bunch of random clothes and stuff, like at like Marshall's or TJ Maxx, where it's like really easy to just get a bunch of clothes and try them on and have a little photo shoot in the dressing room. Like that helps. It makes you feel good about yourself. And you're gonna come out like, ooh, like I love this, like I look good in this, and then you might end up buying something if you have the money. Little things like that will help. And the other thing is going out on dates. And I think it doesn't, like, you don't have to be looking for a serious relationship. Obviously, like, everyone probably wants to date, even if it's just casual, because you can't, as long as, like, you're not, like, catfished, like, most first dates are fine. And it's a great way to just practice talking to a complete stranger. You're obviously going to go when you look nice. You're going to dress up for the occasion. If you do something fun, well, there you go. You also get like a nice little outing on doing something where you aren't necessarily alone, but you also get to practice talking and talking about yourself too. So you just feel confident talking about yourself, and then you can also work on your conversation skills and be talking to them. And that really helps, because the person's a complete stranger. And, you know, dating in all age ranges, all different people, because you never know. So, you know, dating someone your age, but dating someone super old, not super old, but like older, you know, it really helps, and you can kind of see just how different people act. And I'm so much more aware of how different people are, and just there's so many different types of people out there. And then the other thing is definitely, I know a lot of people are like, oh my God, like I hate social media. I don't want to have any accounts whatsoever, but I do think that it helps in the confidence. Now I don't love social media. I don't. But even if you just make like a private account for yourself and you're posting literally just for yourself, I think that helps. It does help with your confidence, because like your photos there, you can kind of just, it makes you feel a little more comfortable, I think, with yourself. That's where, like, if you can be comfortable looking at yourself, so at pictures, in the mirror, whatever, you start to like be like, hey, like I can do this, like I feel comfortable in my body, I'm like, let's go do something. So again, then being comfortable in your body, work out. Just work out and eat healthy. Like these basic principles, if you're eating like shit and you sit around all day and you don't do anything, you're gonna feel so much worse. Like I know that on Sundays are usually, I used to shoot and cook and do recipe development on Sundays. Now that I'm just like not happy where I'm living right now, and it's very hard to shoot, some days are just like rest days for me. So like I'll work out in the morning and then I'll go and I'll take a nap. And honestly, the rest of the day is kind of shot and I don't feel good. Like I've just been sitting, like my body hurts. I just don't end up feeling very good by the end of the day. That's why like I have to get up and work out every morning. Like if I wake up and I don't work out, if that's not the first thing I do, I'm going to feel so horrible the rest of the day. And then my confidence in myself goes down. So I really, really, really hope that just, even if you work out before you go to work or something, like I say work out in the morning. No matter what, I'm never going to tell you to work out at night. I don't think that's a good time to work out. I just don't. And I think if you get that in the morning, you feel good about your body, you've done something awesome, and it gives you that like burst of energy, and then you go have a healthy breakfast and then go out into the world. So that will definitely just help with your self-confidence and confidence in your body. But the other thing is, it's talking to such a wide range of people. So that's everything from job interviews to dating, to people in the store, to your neighbors, like just random people. The more you can talk to people, the better. And that's why I love talking. Like I could talk for hours. Like I just was on a beach date. I went to the beach as a first date. Now a lot of people will be like, what the heck? And obviously I live in South Florida, so it's very normal, I guess. Although some girls are like, no way, I don't be all sweaty and like barely have anything on. But I normally, stay at the beach for like 2 hours. I got there very early, but like I was out in the sun for like 5 hours that day. And like we were talking for like over 3 hours just on the beach. And obviously and sometimes people are like, oh, first dates need to be like an hour. Like, not necessarily. The conversation just goes, and I feel so comfortable. And I can tell right away. Again, this is the same thing with like the interviews. If that conversation doesn't, there's like a switch in the conversation, you can feel it. And then you know that the conversation is going to be very easy and it's going to flow. If that doesn't happen, yeah, it's going to be awkward and weird and not very comfortable. That doesn't happen a lot though. I think people feel comfortable around me. So because I am confident and I walk around confident in myself and I'm not all like quiet and shy and like all scared and weird, and I stand tall, I don't cross my arms. I used to do that, like in high school and stuff. No, don't cross your arms, be open and stand up tall and like act like you own the place, act like you're comfortable being there. Even if you're not comfortable, act like you are. And I think that makes people feel a lot more comfortable with you, because they're like, well, she's not weird and awkward and she's not hiding something. Like, she's there to talk and it's fun. Make them smile, make them feel comfortable around you. And that's by being open and being that conversationalist. So sometimes it helps to have some like general talk. Like, I've talked to so many different people now that I kind of know the stories that I have. Easier ways to explain certain things about myself, like what I do for work. That took so long to really figure out what I was going to tell people, because my work is my identity. Like, that's all I think. Like, I am my work. And I always was like, oh, like, I'm a food blogger. Like, I don't really know what to tell you. I feel so much more comfortable telling people what I do, because you know what? It is cool. And most people are like, oh, wow, that's awesome once I tell them. So don't be scared of that kind of stuff. Like, just find a good story, maybe practice it, a few lines of like what you do. Don't practice like an elevator pitch. Like, I help people do this by that. Like, that is so dorky and too templated. Make it a little original, make yourself memorable. And another thing is to wear bright colors. Now, yes, I look very good in some sleek black crops and everything, but I love the bright sunny colors, and that kind of shows like, oh, that person isn't like all sad and like whatever and like hiding in the corner either. So it depends on the situation, but if you wear bright colors, there you go. And that's why the bright lipstick helps as well. So pick like one or two things that you absolutely love, when you're going on dates or going on an interview or whatever. Wear those favorite pieces that make you feel good already. And then you kind of take out a lot of the overhaul, like you having to make yourself feel comfortable. But yeah, I think people are so embarrassed and like self-conscious about themselves. I think that's a problem. Like, don't be embarrassed, because when you are embarrassed, everyone else is embarrassed for you. Like, if you give off the energy that you create. So, and I think a lot of people, they say that, but it's so true that if you feel so awkward and embarrassed and like, oh my God, like this is like crazy, like whatever, that other people are going to feed off of that, and they're gonna be like, yeah, I could tell she's like having a moment there. So if you go in feeling confident, if you're just telling yourself like, I feel good, I'm confident, breathe slowly, don't get yourself all worked up. So like when you're driving somewhere, blast some good music that you love, sing in the car. Oh my God, I love singing in the car. And just do silly things like that before you get somewhere, get the nerves out. Of course, you're always gonna have that little butterfly feeling. But if you can only be embarrassed if you feel that way. Like, you're the one who chooses to feel embarrassed by situations or to lack the confidence. If you don't feel embarrassed, and if you feel confident and you're like, oh, oops, I accidentally stumbled on my words, or oh, I accidentally trip, when you trip on your feet when you're walking, who cares? People really don't care about that kind of stuff. And they're not gonna like think you're awkward if you don't like actually like exude that, So it's kind of like trusting yourself, building trust with yourself. So obviously this is gonna take practice. Obviously it took me years, and it's only these last 2 years I've really come out of like my shell. I hate that, but it takes practice. So even if that's practicing in front of a camera like this and then watching the footage backwards, or it's recording yourself just talking, practicing with a friend, that can help. But it also helps doing it with like strangers and not necessarily a friend, because I feel like you're already so comfortable with them, you gotta branch out. And that's why like talking to a camera, isn't the same as like talking to someone you're comfortable with, because it's weird. But yeah, so that's what I would, if you want to start working on your confidence, that's where to start. So it's getting that self-confidence by, the standard: work out, eat well, make yourself look good when you go out, wear bright colors, wear bright lipstick. And the other thing is like practicing, having some good lines of like what you do, who you are, just some of your favorite things. Some of those just in there just in case, you have some standard lines that you can always pull out. Maybe some standard interesting questions, but not like questions where you're interviewing someone like, oh, what's your favorite color? Like, don't ever ask someone that. That's so weird. But so practicing some of that general conversation skills, meeting as many people as possible. Literally try to talk to everyone. It doesn't matter who they are. It doesn't matter if you don't think you're gonna date this person for a long time. It's fine. You're just meeting them. You're just meeting another human being. And then, even when you're at stores and stuff, if someone randomly like asks you a question, or like I randomly start talking to this random guy who was like looking at the mangoes with me in Aldi, and he was like, oh, like, I'll wait till you're done or something. I was like, oh, I'll probably be here for a while because, I'm trying to find the best. And he was like, oh, are there any ripe ones? And I'm like, oh, I don't like them ripe because I like them like slightly less ripe. And then I told him I eat the skin of the mango. And then it started this whole conversation. He was like, wow, you really like mangoes. And I'm like, yeah, I know. And like really weird things like that. But that just helps because it's like the most random thing with a random person I'm never going to see again. And so it doesn't matter. If the person's never going to see you again, it doesn't matter. Just talk, because someone's going to like them. They're going to remember that. It's just going to be like a fun little memory. It's not serious. Life is not this serious. These kind of things, these interactions with people are not. And the more interactions you have with people, the better, because you're going to have way more experiences in life. So practice talking to people, practice talking to strangers. I mean, it's not like go and be creepy and like go up to every stranger you see, but like when there is that conversation, like don't just stop it at, oh, hey, like, how are you? Like try to keep it going a little bit, Yeah, and maybe do something crazy, something that you've always wanted to do, but you've been scared, you've been like embarrassed to do it by yourself, whatever. Do stuff by yourself. Oh my God, you're gonna like actually start living life once you start doing things by yourself. I do everything by myself. I am totally alone. Just do it. It doesn't matter. So, and start a YouTube channel, start posting random videos of yourself. I'm literally cleaning my toilet in like some of my videos. Like that is so weird. Who cares? No one cares. Everyone likes it actually because those videos do well. So do whatever you want. Yeah, and I think that's it. Like, honestly, it's just getting out there, practicing, and getting enough self-confidence that you can get over that fear and embarrassment of doing things around other people, Oh, and one other thing is, like, I never ate at restaurants. I was, like, eating at restaurants with, like, a person. I was, like, that's so, I always felt weird eating in front of people. Now it's like, like I can understand it, I can get through it, it's totally fine. So things like that, it takes practice. So even if you're so scared, like I was so scared to coach this class I just did yesterday, Orange Theory, and actually it ended up being so fun. I love talking on the mic. That is just so much fun. So maybe get yourself a microphone and start practicing that way. Yeah, so hopefully that helps. You probably have to listen to this again because it was, again, all over the place. I don't like writing scripts for these videos. So yeah. Let me know how you guys feel about confidence. Are you confident? Are you working on it? What do you struggle with? What's like the hardest thing for you? And if you have any other tips, leave them down below. Let's help each other out. And yeah, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys back here next week. Bye.